Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ola. Many thanks to those friends and colleagues who have been reaching out asking how to know whether they are ready for their ARCP or not. And in response to that, I've put together this video to describe your ARCP preparation checklist. Previously, I've done a couple of videos on the subject of ARCP, and for those preparing for their first ARCP, I would recommend to watch the video of introduction to the ARCP through this link. I've also done a video explaining the 7 top reasons why doctors fail the ARCP. Please see that video through this link. I've as well done a video describing 7 practical steps to ace your ARCP, and you can see that through this link as well. Those videos are essential in having a full understanding of what your ARCP is about, especially if you're preparing for your first ARCP, and specific points to take notice of if this will be your final ARCP. First and foremost, when it comes to knowing whether you're ready for your ARCP or not, is coming to this place that says requirement. This place tells you exactly what number you need for every element of your workplace based assessment. For instance, this doctor is in ST1 and they need 36 log entries and they've done 42 already. For this current review, they need 18, they've done 11 already, and by the time they are sitting, they need to have done 108. So same thing goes for each and every of your workplace based assessment, and that button is the number one place to go for to see where you stand. Once you've done that, the number 2 thing to do on your checklist is to come to your compliance passport. In your compliance passport, the first thing you want to do is to check your form R to see whether you've uploaded your form R. And the form R you're uploading is the type B. Once you've uploaded your form R, there are a couple of things to consider in your form R. Number 1 is that if there have been previous significant events or learning event that have been highlighted, you need to then write clarifications of those now, whether those cases have been resolved or not. If a doctor has been involved in a criminal investigation or a complaint, that also must be declared in the form R. The other important thing is the time out of training that's been declared in the form R has to be consistent with what's been declared in the portfolio itself. If it's not consistent, then the panel, very rightfully so, will seek clarification on that. Second thing on your compliance passport is the BLS. BLS is a GMC requirement for all doctors to be able to demonstrate knowledge of life support every year. And the BLS we are looking for is the child and adult BLS with automatic external defibrillators done face to face, not a virtual one. And then the other thing is your safeguarding. Your safeguarding is level 3. The safeguarding certificate itself needs to be in date. And in addition to that, if it's the final ARCP, the doctor then needs to also demonstrate that apart from the certificate, they are able to demonstrate knowledge of local safeguarding pathways in their region. And ways to do this is to be able to do log entries where you have attached your safeguarding level 3 2 that demonstrate that. If you don't know how to attach this, please refer to my video on how to do a log entry where I extensively described how to link your log entry to your compliance passport. Now, the third thing to look out for will be your caps. Your caps are very important because they are a big problem, and they are a common cause of non-standard outcome. Your KEPS as the mandatory one, and at the point of CCT, the college expect that all mandatory ones have been done and that all mandatory ones have been signed off as competent to perform unsupervised. If any of them was signed off as competent to perform unsupervised before and now signed as another thing, then you will need another that says competent to perform unsupervised before you can say CT. Obviously, if this is not your final ARCP, you don't need to do all of your caps. You just need to show evidence that you're at least engaging with them. Now, the non-mandatory caps are where the challenge is, but the line is that the doctor needs to show a wide range of non-mandatory caps. I will leave you to make conclusions on that, but really what that means is that you don't need to do all the non-mandatory ones at the time of CCT, but you need to at least do most of them. Now, one common problem, especially when it pertains to mandatory caps, is that you will find doctors who have had their caps signed on one single form. A doctor can have prostate examination, rectal examination, male genital, female on just one form. Most panels will not accept that. So when you're sending out your caps form to your assessors, please ask them to put it on separate forms. If you're doing a prostate examination and a rectal examination, for instance, that is quite understandable, and you're able to justify that. Look, this a patient needed a rectal examination because internal hemorrhoid was a differential, and they also needed a prostate examination because prostatitis was one of the possibilities you were thinking about. That is fully understandable. But how to justify putting prostate examination, rectal examination, and female genital examination speculum on just one form? So make sure to separate them such that your panel are not confused. The other thing is on the subject of PDP, which is the fourth thing to keep in mind of. Now, your PDPs, if it's your final ARCP, you need one PDP going forward, which will serve as your PDP in your first year appraiser as a fully qualified GP. If it's not your final one, you need a couple of PDPs. Many supervisors will ask you to do 3 PDPs going forward. So again, that needs to be smart, and that needs to reflect in here as well. The other thing is your action plan. Your action plans, again, if it's not your final ARCP, you need to then have 3 action plans going forward as well to make sure that you are actioning the capabilities and the clinical experience groups that you feel you want to learn a lot from. Another thing, particularly if it's your final ARCP, is evidence of out of hours work, which can be done in a couple of ways. The easiest way is to put log entry in your clinical case review of out of hours cases you've seen, and to specifically mention that you've seen this case as part of your out of hours, whether in out of hours setting proper or whether as an on-call GP, and that's what we'll usually do. So if you're able to follow this checklist, it's more or less assures that everything you need to do in preparation for your ESR, for your ARCP rather, has been done, and that you're ready to go for your ARCP. Final addition is on the subject of QIA versus QIP. It's so common for someone to have done a QIA and it's actually a QIP. Even common to have done what they believe is a QIP, but it's actually a QIA. So if you have problem being certain which is which, have done a video clarifying that, please refer back to the video through the link. But it's important because if you have done a QIA and you're calling it a QIP, it will not fly with the panel. So that will be one final thing. Guys, I hope you have liked this video. If that's the case, please give me a thumbs up to encourage me to make even more videos for you. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you in my next video.